It's Thursday, 1 p.m. Pacific time, and it's time for Collider Jedi Council. What are we going to talk about today? Well, a lot of things. Who's going to be in The Mandalorian? Topher Grace, he likes Star Wars, and Galaxy's Edge will have long lines. It's Collider Jedi Council, and it starts now.
Hello, one and all. Welcome back to Collider Jedi Council. That's right, it's our Star Wars show, and we're going to talk about Star Wars. And joining us today to talk about Star Wars, the one, the only, the Kylo, the Ken Napzok. What happened? Would you spill something?
I got a zipper up here. I got a zipper. That's funny.
What do you keep in there?
Nothing.
But could you?
You should.
What could you keep in there?
An orange.
$1. My mom gave me $1, dropped me off at the parking ride.
Nice.
The Wayne's World 2 reference.
You spent it on chocolate bar immediately. Kim Horcher is here. Hello, Kim. How are you?
Hi. No pockets. Women's clothing does not have pockets.
No, you wouldn't want one.
Silly.
Because you look like you're ready to beatbox. That's what you look like you're ready to do. Give me the arms folded. There you go. Yeah, you got a
like those white British kids at the end of
Joey
About
Lawrence.
A Boy. Joey Lawrence. Thank you.
Whoa. All right, let's move on right away. Just wrap it up. Time to talk about Star Wars, everything relating to the world of Star Wars movie news. Look, there's a little bit of a slow news cycle here with Star Wars movie news because we know that we're getting close to Episode 9, and once we get to Celebration, then boom, off to the races. But there's some slower news, but Ken, we do have some stuff.
Yes, we have one of those things that they're always interesting because to me it's not the straight old rumor mill stuff.
Yeah.
It's weird production stuff, and this is all these websites link back to one source, but I don't know. It's Star Wars News Net is saying Fantha Tracks are saying 2 new production companies were registered on October 12th, 2018. Both of them tied to Star Wars productions from the sound of things. These both over in UK, because that's where we make everything, or Vancouver or Atlanta. But Star Wars is generally over there, and this could lead, there's some speculation that there is a new TV show, a third one.
A third one, not the 2 existing.
Correct.
Okay.
And maybe a movie. Is this Dan and Dave or Flippy and Skippy making their Star Wars film?
Well, Flippy and Skippy wouldn't be because it's officially Lucasfilm, right?
Well, I just made them up. Yeah.
No, but this is
Hot
official,
directors Flippy and Skippy.
Oh, you're saying just new people that we don't know about?
This is one of those weird. Because I know that there's that other script, the Mos Eisley-based script, and I think they were a little bit down the trail in production, and that went kaput. So you never know. But the third TV show is interesting to me.
The third TV show is interesting, especially the fact that we've had the rumors of that Obi-Wan thing popping up, and Star Wars News that one of the ones to do that. So maybe this is a little bit more realistic than we thought, or maybe it's just something completely different that we haven't even heard about that we might hear about at Star Wars Celebration. So I think that this is something that every production company does, that they set themselves up to you're going to register, because if you look at it, timeline, it makes sense. We know that we have the Cassian Andor series that will start to go into production next year, but you've got to start preparing. So what comes out in 2 years from now, right? They would assume, all right, well, we're going to register this, we're going to register that. There are things that they have in active development. So this makes sense. Do you think that this is anything significant right now,
It's
Kim?
hard to say right now, because if that's all the information we have, it's pretty thin. I mean, you could even just make a fake one to, I don't know, be tricky like J.J. Abrams likes to do sometimes. I wonder when the movie would be coming out, though, if they're working on just this step right now.
That's true, because from what we've been speculating, we didn't think we were going to get
no 2020, movie. Right?
No, we can't get
2021.
I guess 2022. But if 2021 is realistic, it's possible. And especially if they register this early, then maybe we do hit 2021. But I think that the first one will be between either 2021 or 2022. We're not getting anything a year after Episode 9. They're going to take a break for feature films. Do you agree with that, Ken?
Yeah, I agree, and I actually at this point kind of want it, which is something I probably wouldn't have said months ago, years ago, in 2015. I would have, I didn't want 2 or 3 a year, but that's gone. But yeah, I'm okay with a little bit of a break now because there's so much other stuff.
Right, that's the magical thing, though.
Yeah. TV, books, comics, and even things I don't read as much. With the comics, it's still there, and I still have a lot of Star Wars.
But it's the TV show. Go ahead.
Yeah, they're definitely going to put the shine on, the new Disney service.
Right.
And that's going to take the shine for a year, maybe 2 years.
You're exactly right. I mean, because they want that spotlight on the streaming service, and they want to show, because they're going to spend a lot of money on these series. Right. And it's, like you said, when we first heard that Star Wars was coming from Disney, it's like, oh, great, give me a movie a year, because that's all we thought we were getting.
Right.
Well, also we were hungry then, and now we're very satiated. we've had maybe some titles come out that not everybody loved.
Yeah.
That's part of it.
Yeah, I agree with that, but I also think that I'm the type of fan that I'm never going to say for Star Wars in general, oh, you know what, it's too much Star Wars for me. I'm done with it.
Yeah,
I want to say, no, you know what, I didn't like that last one, but what do you got next? I didn't love Solo. What do you got next? I'm going to try this too. But the reason why I'm okay with taking a break from the movies is because now I know I can binge 8 to 10 episodes of a television show. And now I know I can get really invested in The Mandalorian and then wait for Cassian. I'm cool with that. Like, I'm great to wait. Make that a shirt. And I'm great to wait. And I think that, especially when we finally find out what the next series of films will be, if it is this trilogy that we think that it'll be from Benioff and Weiss, what will that be? And then I'll get more excited for the release dates, which I think they should space out and not do those every year. Do them like every 2. I don't know about the 3. The 3 years is a little bit too much for me.
Yeah. Once the new series gets going, get it going. You know, if it's Dan and Dave or Flippy and Skippy, I don't care. Someone else, just get it going. Give me once a year. Get that. Not get it out of the way, but like give me that. Then move on to the next one. Then move on to episode 29. Be all right.
Yeah. All right. What's next?
What's next is a little interview with our friend Ash Crossan.
I've heard of
over at ET Online. She got some try to get something. I mean, you know, Ash knew she wasn't going to get a lot out of J.J. Abrams, but she saw him on the red carpet and asked him a little bit about, you know, anything about the Backlash change the way he was going to be filming or doing anything about Episode 9, and he played
Backlash what?
She asked him about the Backlash have anything to do, you know, or change your mind about doing things in 9, and he was like, kind of like, what's the internet? I've never.
Right.
There was a problem.
He's never going to let you.
He's never going to let it. But she asked for one word to describe Episode 9, and he eventually settled on the word satisfied. So that's what he's hoping for, at least.
Yeah.
So it's nice to see. You know, I don't know. You're not going to get much from him.
He's and this is not an insult. He's a studio politician.
Yes, that's what I was trying to say.
It's not an insult. He's like, what's he going to say? I'm with you guys. I didn't like a lot of that crap, so I'm going to do my own thing now. You're going to love it. Screw that guy and his porgs. Yeah, he's not going to say that.
Yeah.
And even if he felt that way, that's what he's going to do. He's going to smile and he's going to go. You'll be satisfied. And like you just said before, he's the secret man. He throws his little things in the air.
He spoils and misdirects in his own ways.
Yep. Yeah, well, the way he does it, though,
he loves that.
He loves it on his terms.
He loves doing that. So what do you think about this kind of, well, you know, the fact that he's satisfied? Do you think that this is going to be what we've been speculating, that it'll be a good fan service?
A good fan service as opposed to a bad fan service?
People use the term fan service, I think, in a dirty way.
I think fan service often denotes cheap.
Yeah, and I don't think it should.
Yeah.
I don't think it should. I think fan service to me, again, and I always use the Game of Thrones reference to where people said fan service. What I always wanted as a fan of Game of Thrones, and I never claimed to be a books fan of Game of Thrones. I've always been the series fan. So my thing with Game of Thrones, as I watched over and over again, was like, I get it. It's miserable. Everyone dies. It's like, give me something. Give me something where this person, let me root for somebody. And then last season is known as the fan service season, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
it went off the rails last season.
And I loved it. I loved it. I loved every second of it. And I hope, and I would like to see some fan service in Star Wars. I think that, to me, that's why I don't find it cheapens it, and I don't find it negative. I find it at a place that, I got rewarded.
I mean, I loved Episode 7, and you can't argue there's a lot of the good way of fan service in that one.
Totally.
So I'm down.
Yeah. Do you think that both you guys, would you feel, because I know that we've been over this a million times. I think that Last Jedi is what, your second favorite? Second favorite. Yeah. So would you feel cheapened if there was some, say, fan service and it denotes a little bit of what happens in Episode 8?
No. Again, I think people probably get tired of me saying this. I don't watch Star Wars or Game of Thrones. That's why I like Season 7. I see it as a real living historical document because I'm that much of a nerd. Right. So when I see something that I don't like necessarily as an intellectual fan, as an emotional fan, I go, oh, okay, that's what happened. Right. And I watch things like that. So if you get to 9, I love that Rey's a nobody. I really, really love that decision. But if all of a sudden it's like, Palpatine's my uncle, there's a part of me that's going to be like, oh, man. But as a viewer, I'm going, oh, okay, that's happened. Now we got the historical document has grown, and now I got to, that's just how I watch things.
Yeah.
Game of Thrones is another example of that. So fan service. I'm excited for that.
I love that perspective. It's not, you're not looking at someone wrote it. You're like, well, that's just what happened.
It is. I'm being great John Schnapp. I'm being sweaty.
Oh, yeah.
That's how I watch Game of Thrones. So when people were like upset a lot about season 7, I was like, well, no, that's what happened in the history of Westeros. That's, you know, and I just watch it from that perspective.
Well, I love that perspective.
I mean, speaking of fan service, you know, something that's part of fan culture is shipping. If there's Reylo, I'm going to be furious.
They're not going to do
Furious?
I hate it.
They're not going to do that.
I hate it.
Yeah, they're not going to do that. They won't do that.
Yeah, it's not something I would want. Again,
Yeah.
I would look at it and go, oh, that's what happened. But yes, yeah.
Yeah, I know.
No, I might start a riot.
I hope for more for Rey in her life.
Yeah, she deserves so much better.
They've been setting up Poe. They've been setting up Poe in the novels. They've been setting up. They set up Poe in the end scene of Last Jedi. They've been.
To be fair, with Poe and Oscar Isaac, if he looks at you, you feel you could ship him with
Definitely.
BB-8 to the Hapa-board. Doesn't matter.
It's going to be Rey and Poe.
You think Rey Poe?
Yeah. Look, I mean, you remember the.
Okay, I like this one.
The reason why.
This is my reaction.
Well, you hit something. Let's
Yeah, well, because look, if you go back to it, J.J. Abrams' original script had them having that conversation that they had basically at the end of 8 inside of 7.
In the novel, right?
Well, it happened in the script, and Alan Dean Foster took that over and put it in the novel, but they cut it out, and then they replaced that back in there. So they're letting you know we're not forgetting about that. We're actually setting you up for it, because Poe doesn't just say like, "Hey, I'm Poe." He looks like he's like, "I'm impressed with what you just did with those rocks." He's like, I'm Poe," and she's like, "Yeah, I know. We met before, but for some reason they didn't want to remember that. Do you remember that they're standing next to it? You say, you like this?
I like it.
This?
What
That's a meet cute.
What draws you into this? What draws you in?
Rey Poe.
Oscar Isaac's dreamy eyes.
I mean, that's.
But I also feel I kind of respect Poe and his journey more than I respect Kylo Ren and his journey.
Yeah.
I agree with that. Yeah.
We don't need. I mean, the only way that you could see that happening, because again, the redeeming of Kylo Ren. That's the one part of it that, whether it's fan service or not, that to me is like, ugh, how many times are we gonna do this?
The redemption. Right.
Yeah, we redeem him again. Okay, cool. We almost redeemed him in Last Jedi, but we didn't. We gave you a swerve, but this time we got it.
Do it.
It's like, come on, it's gonna be lazy. It's gonna be very lazy if they redeem him.
It's so tough. It's yeah. You want to end it somehow with his character. I don't know. I love it. But that's what I love. I don't know. I have no idea.
I like that he went so far down the dark side.
Oh, I love it.
That's
with you. I'm with you on that.
And it's, what about Vader? Different character.
Yeah.
Vader did his thing already.
Yeah.
Like let's let Kylo be the guy that just did not. He could never be what Vader was. Vader was really powerful as a Dark Lord, and then he was so powerful as a Jedi that he came back and took out the most powerful Sith Lord of all time. He was able to do that. Kylo has never been able to do anything that Vader could do, so don't let him do that same exact path then say, oh, well, I couldn't achieve anything he did as a Dark Lord, but I could achieve exactly what he did, and I had the strength to go back good again. Don't do it, JJ. Don't be lazy. But anyway, all right, what's next?
I love it. No, I love it. It's exciting. It's that fun stuff. And Poe, right? All that kind of good stuff. What do you out there? What do you want? Who do you want Rey to fall in love with? Maybe no one. Let us know. We got more Star Wars Celebration Chicago announcements. These have been rolling out very slowly. The news cycle, just one blip at a time. But we got Ray Park, Matt Lanter, of course, the voice of Anakin Skywalker in the Clone Wars and Battlefront 2. That came out this week, the big update, the Chosen One update. And then Tia Sakar, who is the excellent performer behind Sabine Wren, the very popular Sabine Wren. So more things to do in a very long Star Wars Celebration. We're not going to be able to see all this, Kristian.
No, probably not. There'll be tons of stuff at Celebration that what we always do is map out our plan. We know we're going to have to hit the big panels, right? We'll get the Episode 9 one, Mandalorian, Clone Wars. Hopefully they do a Cassian thing. Try to hit that Phantom Menace one. And then as far as seeing, these great panels that they have set up. It's just kind of like side things for us that hopefully we get to
Topps
do.
autograph stuff and everything.
Which is great. And we have friends over at Topps that are doing great work over there. And they were like the first one. They have Palpatine himself. He's going to be there.
Right.
So that's the only reason why I'm wondering if you showed the trailer, if you'd show him. Because then you could bring him out on the panel. Because if it's a smaller surprise, if it's like a smaller surprise that you just want to reveal, but if it's a bigger role and you want to let them know, oh wow, the Emperor's coming back, and you put him in the trailer, it'd be a ballsy move.
And then lights come up, because last year they ended the panel
with the trailer.
And
I think they did that for Force Awakens too.
So, but maybe you start it.
Probably not. They want to leave you with that buzz. They want to leave you with that fever inside where everyone's talking about it. Then they're going to go show it again. And they'll show it twice, and then that's probably how it'll end. But
Jim, what do you want? Do you want the trailer at the beginning of the panel or after?
I mean, obviously, I want it at the beginning because I want to. They're going to put it at the end.
Yeah.
I don't think.
I like that. Yeah.
I feel like adding Palpatine would just be too big at this point.
You mean in the trailer?
Yeah, he should be just a surprise later. If it's in the trailer, it's too front and center.
I don't disagree with you. It's to me just a ballsy move if you're going to say, look, no, he's in it. Get ready. You're right. It'll if it happens at all, it'll be revealed in the movie as a plot point. That's something. But they hopefully what they will do, because what they've normally done. Not just Star Wars. They show you teasers just to get you hyped up that a bigger trailer is coming. This is, and then you have like the story trailer. This will be the story trailer. This will be because we're in April already. So you'll get a snippet of what this thing's actually about and what's going to happen and where the missions are going to go. I hope it's like a 2.5 minute trailer, maybe 3. But I don't want a minute trailer. What do you think? How long do you think?
I don't think it'll be 2.5 minutes.
2 minutes?
If it's the first tease.
But it's different than the first tease. A lot of times the first teases are usually like a minute, and they usually come out like a year beforehand. This is coming out like 8 months before the movie comes out. So
yeah, because the one at Celebration 2 years ago was the full one, right? We'd had the tease, to your point.
Right.
So, but do it. Yeah, give me a big 4-minute mega teaser.
4 minute, I'd be very happy. But I'd say we're in between 2 and 2.5 minutes for the trailer.
In a world
where we get a trailer. Yeah. So I'm pumped for it. I can't wait.
And then we confirmed the Jedi Council panel.
Yeah, we are on Sunday for Jedi Council, the podcast stage, and then Friday is the movie trivia Schmodown. Number 1 contender match, right. Yes, but it'll be called, because of this things, the fan stage will be called the Battle of the Trivia Masters. For the first, you'll see it. You'll see the whole thing, and then once it's up on, it'll be up on this channel, the number 1 contender match, and then the winner will play Alex Damon for the championship the following night, Saturday night. You can still get your tickets, by the way, in Chicago. There's really not a lot of seats left. It's a 800 seat theater. We've sold over 715 tickets, so it's almost gone. So if you want to get your tickets, go to theshmodownlive.com to check out Alex Damon defending his title. You also get Who's the Boss versus either Odd Couple or Scream Queens. You can find that out today. That'll be up on the Schmodown channel as well. Okay, let's move on over to that's it, right?
Well, the final thing is what we got behind you here, Star Wars always. Topher Grace teamed up with Jeff Yorks. Now Topher Grace is, we know, a big Star Wars fan, and a number of years ago he did the Phantom Edit, where he did
one of the Phantom
Edits where he did his version of the Phantom Menace, and they put together this 4 or 5 minutes of all 10 of the Star Wars movies, not counting the Clone Wars, of course, into a supercut, basically. But it was one of those nerd chill kind of moments for me, too. I really did like it a lot. You call it a love letter? I think that's accurate.
I think it's a love letter. It's a love letter to every Star Wars movie theatrically that has come out, minus, like you said, the Clone Wars, or as Bibiani will tweet me, the Endor movies that came out in UK in like 2 theaters. But the 10 big theatrical releases that have come out, this is really nice to see. And I think that it wasn't, the Phantom Edit was, hey, this is how I would edit the movie. Right. And this is how a lot of fans want to see. This is not one of those things. This is just a celebration of Star Wars, fittingly a couple of months or a month and a half before Celebration. So it's nice to it was nice to see, and you can tell he's a hardcore fan. I enjoyed it. Did you get a chance to check this out?
Yeah, I'm mad at Topher Grace for having so many talents.
Right, he's so good at this.
Editing is one of them.
Yeah. Did you? But I mean, I think the use of the music was really good. The old footage from New Hope that was never used before.
Used a lot of deleted scenes. Yeah, it's great. The big stuff too. Yeah.
Jedi when he's constructing the lightsaber.
I mean, if you just make this kind of emotionally evocative thing, you've done a good job with the trailer.
I agree. I absolutely agree. You liked it?
Oh, I loved it a lot. Yeah, I didn't immediately watch it. I saw it going around, Twitter and everything, and I finally sat down. I was like, all right, let me see what this is. And yeah, it's just perfect, man. It talks. That's the love of Star Wars I think we all have deep down inside. No matter what you debate, what you fight, what you like, what you don't like. At the end of the day, this is how you kind of probably feel. It's why you're here. So
yeah, he makes it seem so easy though too. Is you got to realize that's a hard. There's so many movies to navigate it and make it flow so smoothly.
Told a great story.
It was a great story, and it was good because you had to. And it was stuff he did with voiceover, and there were things that he used. Like he even used that deleted Saw Gerrera line of what was the line that he used? God, he said it. He says it to Felicity Jones.
Yeah,
what will you become? He never says that in the movie,
right?
But he used it from the trailer, and that's a lot of work. I mean, he really went into it and spent a lot of time. So if you haven't checked it out, you should. It's great.
That's it for movie news.
Movie news is a done deal, and now we shift on over to the segment of the show that we simply call What's the Deal with Canon? Everything happening in the world of Star Wars news that isn't necessarily just the movies, but it could be TV shows, video games, comics, books, whatever it is, it links back into the overall narrative of the films, and that's why we're talking about it. So, Ken, what's up?
Well, let's start with the theme park, Star Wars Land, Galaxy's Edge. We finally got, I know you're grumpy about it, but some of our friends in the business, in the movie Talking Business, got to get a sneak preview of Galaxy's Edge, but from a certain point of view, because it wasn't a fully functional preview. They couldn't take pictures, obviously, and then things weren't working. There was scissor lifts and all those kind of things, but they got a feel for it. And I'm reading Jermaine Lucier on Gizmodo, just all his 77 things you need to know. There's a lot there. And our friend Mark Donica, he and his wife Andrea Donica have a podcast about theme parks, and I talked to them a couple weeks ago in Force Center. There's a lot of cool things.
Did they go?
No, but they're just kind of one of those. They're plugged into the
world,
the theme park world, and stuff about the bands that are going to be the things they have in Orlando, the Magic Band. It's a totally immersive experience. So Kim, you seem to be very excited.
I am. Well, first I saw this and I went 77, but then I scrolled through the whole thing.
Right, I'm doing that now.
I'm very excited about what they're doing in terms of, this is going to sound so lame, in terms of merchandising, where they've decided, we're not selling, things that just say Star Wars or Disneyland. It's going to be like you're there, which is what I appreciate. Also, when you're buying, or when I'm buying fan-based apparel, I don't want a shirt that just says I like Star Wars. I want it to be evocative of maybe a character or a mood, and not just the most basic thing you can do.
It's like you're walking into the store and buying something from the actual cantina or something.
They're setting it up that way, where it's like you kind of, some of the stuff I didn't read in this article, but I'd heard it's going to be like, here's this Rey person we're hearing about. You want to buy a handmade figure about her?
Not like a shirt with a picture of her face on it.
Yeah, that kind of, exactly. We got a Todarian selling. You can barter for some of the stuff.
That's great.
Yeah, with the Ithorian that's going to be there.
That's got to be the best cast member job, right?
That's going to be the top of the line.
That's what I would want.
You better be careful, though, if you're that guy, though, too, because you give away something too cheap, you're going to lose your job pretty fast to somebody other Ithorian.
Yeah, I'm looking at look at that plush Wampa and Tauntaun.
And the uniforms are great. The food looks great.
The uniforms are great, except for that one poor guy had that.
Oh, the hat?
The hat, the Embo hat. Poor guy. But
see, and I said it on live today. I got a little salty about it because I didn't look at any of this stuff because I figured Jedi Council should have been there.
Oh, you're mad?
I'm not arguing with you.
But Jedi Council should have been there.
Okay.
We've been covering this thing for a long time before a lot of these other people that were out there. We should have been there, but we weren't, and I get it. But yes, you want to call me salty? You can call me salty. We should have been there.
Invite Kristian next time, or this will happen again.
You know what? If it would have been you, or it would have been you, but somebody representing Jedi Council.
They're not inviting me.
But whoever it was, someone should have represented Jedi Council or Collider. Frosty or somebody.
Collider. I mean, these are media outlets going. Collider is very much a media outlet.
That's all I'm saying. I think we should have been there, but we weren't. But it's good that there is a report out there that is basically saying exactly what we hoped we would get from this.
Right.
And we're going to see more of it. And I'm sure and someone said this morning too, I'm sure they'll do a press day of when the things actually open up and people can come out, and we won't get invited to that either. But what we will do is
I actually got a menu here. I didn't read it.
What is the menu?
I did. The food looks great. It looks healthy.
Smoked Kadu ribs.
Okay.
It's a rib of the native
But they don't tell you what it really is.
It's also-
Kadu are, that's what the Gungans ride. So
I know, no. But I'm saying they don't tell you what it really is.
Oh,
it's
sure.
pork.
Yeah,
Is that what it is?
Yeah, I read one
basically
that
a
was
pork
like,
rib.
this is a meatloaf.
Fried Andorian tip yip. It's
Okay.
Star Wars chicken.
Okay. Oh, I see.
Yob shrimp noodle salad. Felucian garden spread.
Okay.
Giggity. And oven roasted burrafish or roasted tri-yip. That's the more healthy option there. So
I
that's
like
just
this.
Some of the, and then
There
they
is
got blue
also,
milk, green milk.
Yeah.
Blue milk is non-dairy, plant-based. Tastes like melon.
All right.
Is that what
apparently.
it says?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
I remembered it.
That is very interesting. See,
I even got the. I had lunch before I got here, so I didn't look at the notes. I got a list of the alcoholic beverages.
Yeah.
Please.
The Outer Rim, Star Wars version of margarita. Jump in here if you have any insight. Fuzzy Tauntaun.
I'm excited for Fuzzy Tauntaun.
Fuzzy Tauntaun.
What's that?
It's a fuzzy navel.
Fuzzy navel. T-16 Skyhopper. A Dagobah Slug Slinger. Jedi Mind Trick, which Yub Nub, which
What's
is
the
rum
Jedi
pump.
Mind Trick? Tell me rum
It
and-
does not say.
Oh, if it's rum and Coke, I'm in.
That sounds good. Yub Nub is the Star Wars version of Rum Punch. That's going to be
That's
the one.
probably, yeah.
Jet Juice 2. Bloody Rancor is a version of a Bloody Mary.
This is a gold mine.
And it comes with a bone made out of meringue that you can
man.
eat.
This is going to be something
You're
else.
right.
I remembered because I'm very hungry right now.
Cap.
The one thing it will
Should've
do
got
though
lunch.
is the
Bespin Fizz.
The lines inside of regular Disney are going to go down significantly now, and it'll be great.
This is the time to go to California Adventure.
I know.
Really.
An underrated park, if you ask
I heard.
me. There.
Alcohol everywhere.
Yeah, absolutely. I am mentally prepared to not get into this place for 2 years because of the wait.
Yeah.
I'm sure
Yeah.
is big, but it looks exciting. And part of the fun of being a Star Wars fan, going back to our youth, is just being immersed in the world, right? Playing with your friends, playing with the toys, playing with your friends and your toys. You want to be surrounded by Star Wars, and I wasn't sure how they were going to pull this off. And I'm a person who loves going to Disneyland.
Yeah.
But you still know you're in Disneyland. And one of the things, like talking with Mark Donica, even like 2 years ago, we're like, we don't want to get Goofy in a Darth Vader outfit.
They've done that before,
They've
though,
done it,
for the runs.
But we don't want to get that in Galaxy's Edge,
Yeah.
right? We don't want to see, and it seems like they're really doing it.
Theming is really important.
It
and
is,
it's something that Disney has generally done a good job of.
Yeah.
And the Wizarding World does as well.
Right.
Wizarding World's a good example.
Well,
of that, too.
that's the main thing that I think of, because for the first time I had never gone to the Wizarding World until recently. I took my daughter, and it was great.
You have kids?
I do. And we went. The fact that everyone's in character. Like my daughter got a wand.
Right.
She was sorted. She was not sorted, but it was.
Did
she was
you go to the
chosen.
wand ceremony and she was chosen
She
to
was
do
chosen. Yeah.
it? Is she one of more than one? Do you have more than one child?
Yeah, but she was by herself.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I didn't have the other one.
I have a theory they look for families with more than one child.
Okay.
So the other child gets jealous.
Oh no! Yeah,
and
yeah.
wants a wand.
It's a wand.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
well, I still got it for her.
That's
too.
wonderfully Palpatine-like. and I
Which,
love
by
it.
the
Oh,
way,
yeah.
I won't spoil any results. My daughter was here during the Rachel Cushing and Mike Kalinowski match, and
Right.
she was putting a spell
You're-
on both Ken and Kalinowski.
And
What spell,
Grace,
though?
everyone-
Was
yeah.
it forbidden?
She said it was an unforgivable curse. That's what
She
told
did
me.
Imperious or
Yeah, I don't know. I just kept saying.
My daughter will tell you. I have no idea. what it
I
was.
can talk to your daughter on this.
You would.
You
You
should
would.
probably
She-
find out.
I've won trivia games with Harry Potter.
Yeah, well, she told me this morning. She's like, I only missed one, a Harry Potter question. So, and she's
Can
7. She's read.
your daughter and I compete on Harry Potter Schmodown?
We'll see. Yeah, we'll see what we do. All right, guys.
Anyways, it goes
Is that
on and on, Christian. There's a lot there, including the little canon connections. Padme in the book Thrawn Alliances goes to Batu and orders a drink. That drink is available.
Oh, that's cool.
On the menu.
See, I
So
like
there's
that.
stuff like that.
I like that. See, that type of stuff it's good. Anything else going on in Canada?
No, nothing big. We got Celebration Chicago, Jedi Fallen Order, the game.
Well, yeah.
Kind of a big thing
tell me
there.
about the game. Yeah, what's going on with the game?
We don't
That's
know
big.
much about it, but they're going to be.
I know about it.
You know about it.
What do you know?
Hit
Okay, so this is after Order 66 has been executed. It's you. A young Padawan has survived somehow and is trying to operate in a world where he or she shouldn't exist.
Right. And people are trying to hunt him down, and
Find other people maybe, but it's hard.
so we could see Vader in this.
Sure.
Could see Vader in this,
for sure.
yeah. But so that's on Saturday, April 13th. It's going to be the EA and Respawn panel as they pull back the curtain on Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order.
April 14th.
April 13th,
That's
Saturday.
the 13th.
That's Saturday.
Did he give you a time yet?
No, I imagine it might be the early panel, the big one. Usually 10, 11 a.m. they hit the big ones, right?
Saturday, again, if we're to guess,
Yeah.
we would say that Friday morning is probably going to be episode 9.
That's
right?
true.
And Saturday morning, I would assume the first one would probably be The Mandalorian.
It's interesting you say that because you have that Iger call scheduled very publicly on the 11th, which is that Thursday.
Right. So Friday, the first thing's going to happen.
And that's where we're thinking we might hear about the Mandalorian more for the first time. But yeah, I don't know. Yeah, you're right about the Friday.
I think so. Yeah, because then the question could be Sunday could then be Sunday morning would be this.
Right.
But then again, when are they going to do the Clone Wars? That could be a little later on in the day if they go by what they used to do. What they used to do with Rebels, they would have a big panel. Then they would show a trailer for the overall season, and then they would show a full episode or 2 episodes. They might do the same thing because it's been successful in the past.
Right.
And those were usually on Saturday. So, I mean, who knows? The thing goes until Monday.
Well, and one of the other things for you, I know especially Star Wars The Old Republic, one of the longest running games, will be hosting a special event. More details to come on that, too. So, Old Republic fans, which we know there are a lot, might have something for
teasing us so long. Though I don't want it to be another one of these because remember when 2015 they did they said, oh yeah, there's going to be some more build-offs to the old Republic game, but it's not canon. It's like, no, I want canon stuff. So I want stuff that's going to count. So I'm hoping that they do. I would love to see a relaunch or redo of Knights of the Old Republic. I don't think it'll happen.
I don't think it'll happen because it's with BioWare and there's a rights issue.
BioWare's back in business now, but they're just not doing
BioWare's in
stuff.
business. They are under EA.
Right. And
it's possible.
Because EA's got the license with Star Wars.
But they've been working on Anthem, which I do not want to play, and I'm a huge BioWare fan.
Yeah. I heard Anthem's pretty good, though.
I don't care about Anthem.
Why?
Well, one, I'm salty that Mass Effect Andromeda was so bad, and I think it was a big part because they focused resources over on Anthem. Secondly, I don't want another game like Destiny. BioWare, do what you're supposed to do and give me a rich, single RPG narrative game. I want a dense RPG. I do not want another Destiny.
See, but that's why I love that passion, by the way. That's why I want them to do.
Games.
I'm getting furious.
I know, but that's why I want them on Knights of the Republic. That's why I want them to do another one, or just an Old Republic game. We'll see, but it's exciting. I'm not gonna lie. I'll probably be there to find out what's going on. Because will they do something new? Maybe if this is Knights of the Republic. When is this happen? Sunday?
Saturday.
The Knights of the Republic happens on Saturday.
Well, yeah. The only date on here is April 13th.
It's the outside shot, which I still have gone against for a while, is that they do announce Benioff and Weiss's movies.
Right.
It would be interesting if they then release the Old Republic game if it happens to fall on the same thing.
Right.
I don't think that's a possibility, but it'd be an interesting strategy.
I'd be very happy, but I don't know if that could really happen.
2% chance, maybe 1.
So you're saying there's a chance?
There's a chance. All right, let's move on over. Now we're going to listen to you guys, and the way we're going to do that is through Twitter, #and Collider Jedi Council. Go on over to Facebook, the Facebook group, the Collider Jedi Council Facebook group. Ask a question there, and there's live stuff going on right now. And Ken's been going through some stuff, and we got some questions. Ken, what do you got?
Get some live and some pre-selected questions from Mark Yodi Riley this week, like this one from Dennis B. Person. Dennis says, or asks, I should say, could Sabine, Ahsoka, or even Ezra show up in The Mandalorian? And then follow up, should they?
As like live action people?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah. Could they?
So would it be like Ashley Eckstein playing Ahsoka in the flesh?
See, here's the one thing. A lot of times you'd probably say no because for some reason, a lot of times, not just Lucasfilm, you've done the voiceover, well, then you can't play the character. That's just a silly rule that's always been there. But the difference is that Dave Filoni is one of the showrunners. Favreau's the main executive producer, and Dave is a showrunner, that if he wants her to play Ahsoka, she could. The problem with Ahsoka is, spoilers for Rebels if you haven't seen it, giving you a chance. Want to turn it off? Do it now.
There's your chance. Bye-bye.
Gone. She's out in the outer rim.
Right.
She's out in the outer rim. So bringing her back through this show.
Well, 3 of them, yeah.
At this point, I mean, you could, because it takes place after Return of the Jedi. So there's been a little bit of time, but still, I don't think you'd see her. Sabine is possible that you could possibly see her, but I do think you're going to get references. You will get references to things that happened in both Clone Wars and in Rebels, especially if Filoni's involved. And not only just because Filoni's involved, he's also working with Favreau, who also worked on Rebels, who also worked on Clone Wars, and I think they're going to tie in their entire television. It's going to be, the films have their own canon, and obviously the TV is going to have canon inside of the film, but it's going to tie into the overall television canon that they've set up.
I would say yes to an Easter egg.
Right.
But nothing
significant?
Nothing expanded. Yeah, like maybe you'll see Sabine's helmet.
You got to also remember that we don't know how many episodes total. We say limited series. We still don't know if limited series means 8 and done, 6 in one season, and then 5 for season 2, and then 4 for season 3. Limited can mean a whole array of different things. So if it is 3 or 4 seasons, then anything can happen, and any character can show up. So it is certainly possible that any of Filoni's characters that he helped nurture along inside of Rebels or Clone Wars, I think Cad Bane should be the most realistic one. Cad Bane to me is the one that you would be able to use, because where's he been? He never showed up in Rebels. He never came back. So let him show up now, because we don't know how long his species live, right? Do we have any idea?
No, I don't. No,
nobody has any idea how long.
Yeah.
So you could say he was young back in the day when they fought in Clone Wars, and now he's still a little grizzled, but he's got a long lifespan.
Right.
And then have him cause some havoc.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
What do you think?
Oh, no, I don't know if they should pair. This is a series for them, but I definitely want to find out. I definitely think we will find out. I don't think Dave Filoni's going to.
In Mandalorian?
Not in Mandalorian. Just in general, what happened to these 3 characters.
Well, what do you think of Mandalorian, though? A possibility that any of them come in?
No, I don't think so.
Any Rebels tie-ins whatsoever?
I think there'll be Rebels tie-ins. Yeah, I think there'll be some kind of, like Kim was saying, a helmet,
an Easter egg, something tiny.
Mentioned via dialogue or something.
Yeah.
Character names and all that kind of stuff.
Chopper, maybe.
Chopper could be. Hera's around. Hera's one of the only ones around in the galaxy at this time that we know of.
Hera could be interesting.
Yeah. Oh, definitely.
But then you'd have to show Jason as well.
Yeah, and I've heard some stuff on why Dave created that. So
why is that?
Just good luck with it.
Oh, really? Just like see what you can do with that.
Yeah, and so that would be interesting if Jason showed up. At all.
Okay.
But Hera would be great. But that, you would mean a young Jason at some point.
Maybe. You don't necessarily have to.
I also think they're setting it. We're already seeing Favreau tweeting or Instagramming out the IG-88s of the world and all those kind of weird connections, which we're excited about. So I think there potentially could be a lot of that.
I'm excited for it. I can't wait.
Oh, very much.
We're getting it this year, which is crazy. Right?
I know. I got to start selling
October.
Newspaper. Get a newspaper route to pay for Disney Plus. Add it to my budget.
Did we get a price on Disney Plus yet?
I don't think so. Do you know? Have you heard? No.
No. Do you want to split it?
We'll split. We'll share an account, right?
All right. Let's
I'm
move
going
on.
to start a paper route right now. Pee-wee's Big Adventure, 1986. All right. Joe Self got this question. Tweet Joe Self. I like that one. This is a live one there, Adam. But I mean, it's more. We'll answer, of course, but specifically for you because I think this is for you. Joe Self says, "I'm all for Palpatine in Episode 9 too, but isn't there a tiny part of you that fears that it'll take away from the emotional ending and Return of the Jedi and Anakin's sacrifice to save Luke?" So I think that's a fair question. But you're excited about this thing, and I'm excited too. If this happens,
to clarify, I'm excited if done correctly. I'm excited.
Right.
If it's explained why, because yes, if done poorly, then it would negate everything that Anakin went through at the end of Return of the Jedi. However, one of the things that you could explore that was then added into the lore in 2005 in Revenge of the Sith is the conversation of Darth Plagueis the Wise and cheating death and figuring out how to expand and then Palpatine started through all these novels to try to find out other ways and Sith relics. He's been studying and learning, so maybe it wasn't as easy as they thought. So it doesn't hurt Vader's route because Vader still was able to do his arc and still freed up the galaxy, did a lot of things, and for 30 years did a lot.
Right.
But look, they also there was somebody who thought like Harry Potter took out Voldemort when he was a kid. They thought that's it, he's done, he's gone.
Right.
And then he came back. And
I gotta say though, I hate Fantastic Beasts and the Cursed Child. I think it's a mistake. I think it's a mistake to bring back. I think to answer that person's question, yes, it does make it feel a little bit less. It does. It's kind of a bummer. It does something that it's not really the same, but something Star Wars does that I don't love, or it's like, oh no, what's the threat? Another Death Star. Mm-hmm. And it's
end of the world threats. Yeah,
right. They couldn't find a better bad guy.
Couldn't you find something else?
Yeah.
But I see that argument. But I think that if they do it in the way that they go back to the Plagueis cheating death, and they show about the outer rim, or not the outer rim, the unknown regions, all of these things that the Sith relics, and they explain it on how it was able to be done, also connecting who the hell was Snoke to Palpatine, how did that whole thing come to be. If they explain that and they explain the connection, then I'll be okay with it, if that indeed happens at all.
That sounds very hard.
It could be hard.
It sounds almost undoable.
You got to thread that needle. Yeah.
I don't think it's undoable, but it's definitely going to be difficult.
It's definitely going to be difficult. It reeks of a little bit of the stuff in Legends that I never gravitated to. But I
cloning
and Luke, the clone of Luke. But I'm with you 100%. I'm really excited about the idea, and I hope they pull it off right. If that's what's happening, we don't know. We're speculating.
This is just you and I.
Blah blah. But
this is you and I doing fan fiction of Palpatine over the last couple of weeks.
Yeah, no, but it comes up a lot.
Yeah,
and it has nothing to do with any story that pops up on YouTube and the internet. This is just a fair question to ask. Because it does. It would make sense. The First Order was born out of the Emperor's contingency plan, so it would make some sense if there's something there.
It's just all the signs have been pointing towards him. Mm-hmm. It's just not that. You got to look at it with Ian McDermott, how he just kind of popped back into the family. Like he even, I think they were talking to him since Last Jedi. It's been around. It's been happening for a bit because he was starting to get in the fray. Then he starts doing because he did not do any of the voices for Palpatine in Clone Wars. Mm-hmm. He wasn't doing any of Rebels until he was. Right. And then he started popping up again. It's like, oh, he's back. He's back in the fray here, and I think that's not a coincidence. I think he'll be back. But, I say it every week, and you all yell at me for it, so maybe you're right and I'm wrong. All right, let's see. What's next?
I'm going to this question from Najes. You see that one, Adam? It's on the bottom there. That makes sense. Would you guys even want to see the beginning of the Jedi and Sith from Benioff and Weiss? I think I'd rather not know how they were formed, but just show some of the earlier days. It takes one of the biggest and best mysteries in Star Wars. Great question from the sense of, hey, sometimes we don't want those answers. Sometimes people do, or maybe you don't like the answers. I think it's a fair question. We always keep going to this era, Benioff and Weiss, but we don't know. We just assume.
It could be totally different. It could be 10 years after Episode 9. It could be 100 years after Episode 9. We just think because of their past history with Game of Thrones, it just makes the most sense.
Yeah.
This answer is the same to the previous question. It just depends on how it's executed. It's one of those things to where, do you necessarily need to show how Jedi and Sith were created? And again, no one said that. That's us speculating the same way that we think Palpatine is going to be in the movie. If they showed the origins of the Sith and the Jedi, if they did 3 movies, it would be very interesting to see these people who connected to the Force, who created their own religion, because inside of the Jedi Order is where the Sith expanded from, and then the Sith became a Sith army. Sith were in Rule 2 right away.
Right.
Rule 2 didn't happen until Darth Bane. So, and leading up to that, and if they were able to somehow infuse Darth Bane inside, what I'd love to see is them do this whole entire trilogy, right? And inside of the trilogy, Darth Bane spawns off and does a television series, after the second movie. You see the limited TV series of how Rule 2 began, and then jump back into the third movie to where now the Sith are just 2.
I like that.
Be very interesting if they did that, and they could.
I like that.
Is that flashy enough for them, though? Because I just feel like they're not going to. I would love if we could explain Sith and Jedi more, particularly Jedi, because I think it can be kind of myopic if you only look at it through the lens of the films. But I don't know if it's sexy enough for them to want to do it.
Well, remember, you go back to look at those Old Republic video games, and you have a Sith army battling a Jedi army, and all the red and green, blue lightsabers going into a mass. Like it's essentially Braveheart in the middle with lightsabers in the middle of a field somewhere.
It looks like that. Those recreations I do of T-Rexes versus Jedi.
Yeah.
That's fun.
But if you did something like that, I think it'd be very flashy, and it's also, I think that we're hungry. I know you aren't, because this is not why you watch Star Wars as much. You like the Empire.
Well, I mean,
you like it.
I like it, but I go towards the war first. Yeah, but
you're more towards the admirals and everything too. That is what you love about Star Wars.
Ever
the war
since
part
I was
of
a
it.
kid, yeah.
It's called Star Wars. You like the war part of it. I'm more on the Jedi, the Force side of the things. I like to see that stuff, and I feel like I've been missing a lot of that. It's certainly there in the new trilogy. I mean, even in the old trilogy, it's a part of it. But I want it to be focused. I want it to be all. I want a movie about just the Jedi and just the Sith.
But that's an excellent example. Even sequel trilogy, you're not alone. A lot of people are like, "Hey, I kind of wish there was more." But original trilogy, I mean, it's here, and then there's Leia leading this rebellion. I mean, so you want all this.
I want one movie about the Force. I want one movie about Jedi.
It's really intriguing if it's the history of. Bringing up Game of Thrones, I've been finally just about done with George R. R. Martin's Fire and Blood, which is part one of the history of Targaryens. One of the things I think he does really well when he tells about his histories, he makes sure even the characters are like, we don't really know, we weren't there. So it leaves some mystery that fans do like. But sometimes you get those answers, and I think in the prequel series of the Game of Thrones show, we're going to start getting answers of Age of Heroes, which might upset people because it might not be what you thought, or might not be as sexy. It's like, oh, that's who Durin was.
I think Dunk and Egg is a fun story. Right. I don't know if everyone is going to think it's a fun story.
Exactly. Great example, too. So, but with this, I really would love them to roll up their sleeves, if that's what they're doing, or anyone does it down the line, and just say, here are some of the answers of the start of it. But then what's intriguing to me, what might be sexy, is what you said, a little point I loved. The Sith came out of the Jedi Order. Well, now you got some politics. Now you got some intrigue. Now you got some houses. You got Gryffindor and Hufflepuff and
you got Lannister.
Well, think about that though. But think about the whole point is the first movie itself was about these people who knew the Force. They understood the Force, but they created their own religion, and they created the Jedi Order, right? Yeah. There was the first group that did it, and inside of that, this group then were asked by the acting government, the Republic at the time, to help them fight against the threat. And they did, and they won. But inside of that, and we start to learn our characters, our Professor X and our Magneto, if you will. Sure. And inside of that, these two really good friends who have opposing views, one of them starts to find the dark side, and it's the first time that anybody that's been practicing the Force in this type of way has really started to go towards the dark side. And our first movie ends with him going off and bringing in some other recruits, and our second movie is the Sith. And we start to see how the Sith order, because the Sith, what people don't realize is that the Sith themselves were a big army for a long time. It wasn't just the two running around for thousands of years. They were running around as an army, killing people
with non-Force users too, and everything.
You should and imagine a full movie like that. To then now you're having these big wars. But the problem with the Sith was that they kept killing each other because they kept craving the power. And then at the end of the third movie happened to end with Bane then blowing up the Sith. Because the Jedi thought, if you read Drew Karpyshyn's book, Jedi thought they were all dead. Right. Because Bane blew everybody up, and then he was all by himself with an apprentice. He found an apprentice, but then he was off, and he wanted to be in the shadows. Well, and you could end that, and then you could do the series if you wanted to do it that way.
You pick up in Phantom Menace, that's the first time Jedi fought Sith in 1,000 years.
Right.
So
interesting. There's a lot that can that can. So the answer to the question is yes. I'd like to see the origin of this.
This is why I want to ask question.
To answer your question, yes.
Update: Sebastian Fila tweets us, says it has been said in the Star Wars show that the Old Republic event is for the online game that already exists. So it won't be anything new. Apparently,
that's what I thought. That's what they always do. So no,
there's Old Republic and Knights of
right?
Yeah. But this is what they did last time. Is that they just had more add-ons for the other Old Republic game. Fine. Next.
Right. Okay. Roy's thoughts. I like this. Roy Rendon. I've always wondered, how did the clones know not to kill Anakin during Order 66? Have you ever thought about
maybe he's very good at avoiding them.
There's something interesting about that there. I like
he just kind of gave up
chip. That chip, they were like, and he was like, no.
He has a special bracelet. I don't know.
You can get it. Galaxy's
Which you can buy on sale at Galaxy's Edge.
That's right. Maybe you just suspend disbelief as after the Palpatine dusted himself off, he entered in a little bit of an audible to the program.
Matt
And then
Thomas wants to know, Cavs fan 1094 tweets this live 1 minute ago, with the ability to buy Jedi and Sith garb at Galaxy's Edge, which is another thing that's possible, will we see Darth Harloff and Kylo Ken realized in costume, which will we also see a Kim Urso in costume? Or do you already
I'm
have
not
that?
in the question. Yeah.
I'm adding you into the question.
I mean, maybe. Sometimes it's pretty expensive, though.
Yeah.
It is expensive.
Yeah.
What do you have already? You have a Han, you have a Leia, you have jackets.
I have a few Leias.
Yeah.
I have a Rey. I have another Rey. I tend to stick to the Rebel side, even though in my regular life I prefer to wear black. But it's easier to be fashionable as a
Rebel.
No.
No?
Rebels are not fashionable. It's a lot of khaki.
That's true, actually.
Khaki's not my look.
Khaki and vests.
Will we be wearing Sith robes?
Yeah.
Yes, we will be.
If you and I are at Galaxy's Edge together, you and I will buy Sith robes and walk around the park like two dorks.
They're going to be so expensive.
That is
like when you buy Quidditch robes.
This is why God created credit cards.
Yes, and we will absolutely. The other, because people don't realize. So this is a long time ago.
Yeah.
Before Jedi Council, I did a show on Geek Nation called Far, Far Away.
Yeah.
And what we were going to do is expand that show off. Before I started doing Jedi Council, we were going to build out they were going to do this whole set with like an Emperor's throne and everything too, and they were going to get me a Sith robe, and I was going to do the show every week in a Sith robe, and I couldn't have been more happy. It just didn't work out, but it was something that I've always wanted to do, and I've always looked for Sith robes, just never had the right one. But after seeing what they do at Harry Potter Land with all the robes and everything, if they do like the authentic type of robes,
that's
I can buy a Sith robe.
I mean, you can get an Novos one probably, right?
Yeah, I mean, I guess
they have very accurate costumes and also very expensive.
Yeah, I had one when I did that lightsaber training, the fight that we did, Jeremy Johns and I, and they had me in one. And there was too much things going on, and it fit weird. I didn't like it, but I think at Galaxy's End they're going to have some pretty incredible stuff. So the answer is 100%. I'll be getting a Sith robe.
You need like a fencing tunic.
Something. I wouldn't get a Jedi robe though. It wouldn't fit.
You wouldn't get a farmer's robe. Yeah, I definitely
get one for Riley.
It's just I wish the Rebel and Jedi stuff looked better.
Yeah,
it's way easier to rock.
Yes.
Yeah,
I agree.
All right, let's do one more.
One more question there. Matt Lambert at Matt Mardigan tweets, do you think Anakin's Force Ghost will appear? And will it reference his daughter Leia? Maybe Leia asks her father to stop Kylo. Anakin would briefly journey to the dark side so he can reach Kylo, therefore bringing balance to the Force as the chosen one. So do they pull him out of retirement?
No.
Do you think we're getting anything? The reason I choose this one from you is, do you think anything from Anakin at all?
Like a mention?
Just a mention, which
maybe
is fair.
But
would they bring in Hayden Christensen?
That's what people want.
Yeah.
People love Hayden.
It would be Hayden because they replaced him in the special editions. But no, I don't think we're going to see him.
Okay. I would like it.
You'd like it,
but do you think?
I think
I would have a great time with that.
Yeah. But do you think?
I'm trying to be positive.
Of just an actual a mention.
His ghost coming back.
His ghost coming back.
Percentage.
Oh, less than 2%.
Yeah.
Oh, I was more idealistic than you. I said 30.
30.
I mean, well,
I'll push 2%. Push.
A mention.
I'll go 30.
A mention of Darth Vader.
Darth Vader or
Anakin?
Or Anakin.
Either or. I'll say 80%.
A mention of maybe Vader. Yeah, I'll go 70.
Does the word grandfather count as a mention?
Yeah.
If there's a frame picture of Anakin Skywalker.
Well, yeah, I think
next to Marcus Brody.
I'll tell you what, I think it's higher.
Signed.
Yeah. I think it's higher than that because it's, again,
higher. I'd even go higher with you. Okay.
9 is a direct sequel to 7. Let's call it what it is. 9's going to be a direct sequel to 7 because it's J.J. Abrams' movie. It's and this isn't a shot at anything. It's just a matter of J.J. Abrams picks up for everything that he wanted to do. Vader was basically dropped for the most part in 8. The fascination with Vader because Kylo was obsessed with.
Literally said, "Drop it, kid."
Drop the silly mask, and that's it. It's basically it was Rian Johnson going, "I don't really want to write this part anymore." So let's move on from this. I don't think that's going to be the case, and I think by mentioning it or whatever it might be, so maybe a little higher. I'll say 85% as far as a mention goes.
Oh, I think it's 100% on a mention.
It's a good. All right.
Yeah.
All right, listen, that's our show. That is the Star Wars show that we do here. It's called Collider Jedi Council. I want to thank everybody for joining us today. Kim Urso, thank you so much for joining us. Where can they find you?
You can find me on Twitter at Kim Scorcher. You don't need to yell at me. You can just be cool.
There's people yelling at you?
It happens.
Mr. Ken Napzok, the Kylost of Kens.
You can find me at Ken Napzok, the Napzok Files podcast. My Patreon page just changed to patreon.com/Ken Napzok. Don't forget, every week got Inside Schmodown Mondays, right?
Yep.
Sometimes I don't see the tweet till late, but Mondays Inside Schmodown got some good ones coming up that I think fans will like.
Yeah, Ben Bateman is this Monday. Stacey Howard was this past Monday. So yeah, check that out. And once again, just to let everybody know, Star Wars Celebration, if you're going to be there, check us out on Friday. I believe it's 2:30 at the fan stage. You can check it out once the program comes out. Sunday will be Jedi Council, and then Saturday night, get your tickets for the schmodownlive.com if you're going to be at Celebration. Alex Damon puts the Star Wars Championship on the line, and Who's the Boss plays in a #1 contender match, schmodownlive.com. And if you're in LA, March 23rd, free-for-all tickets. Get those. Thank you guys so much. Make sure you subscribe right here to Collider Video and download this podcast. Go ahead and get it, the Jedi Council, on your Apple Podcasts, Spotify, wherever you can find podcasts. Do it, and we will see you next time. May the Force be with you, always.